first, today I will be reviewing the wooden rainbow stacker and peg doll set of Giggles Montessori. And then next I will review the wooden carrots harvest and magnetic catchworm set. So if you're noticing a pattern, Giggles Montessori really likes to release sets, and I think that's great. It's a great value for money, and you know, some of the toys may be a bit familiar to you because you see other Amazon sellers releasing those kinds of products as well. But what's nice with Giggles Montessori is that they put it in sets, and you know, your child gets more fun and play out of it. So here it is. It comes in a box that I just put aside for now, but it starts with these 6 rays of the rainbow, and then with this you get 12 peg dolls. So it is a set, and I have a few of the peg dolls here with me right now. I don't have all 12 of them here because it's just too much to show in the small frame, but you have several shades of these colors. So there are 2 shades of green, 2 different shades of red, looks like there are 2 different shades of purple as well. But you know, the nice thing about having those 2 different shades of primary colors, or just, you know, very common colors in general, is so that you can help your child with color recognition. So this is a great way to get them started on learning their colors. You can start with the basic rainbow stacker, and you know, how they play with this is really up to them. So you know, they usually just experiment with the positioning of the rays. So they can start like this, and you know, they like to balance the peg dolls on it and see the limits of it, you know, how far it can go before it falls. And then, you know, once they start to get the hang of that, and you know, they want to be more imaginative, they can just, you know, rearrange the pieces and come up with their own storyline and their own ideas of what kinds of settings they want this to be. You know, in the product listing you'll see that it looks like a cave. I've also seen, like on Pinterest, I believe I've seen this toy used as like a score, like, you know, the score thing where the parents would kind of just get the 2 of the pieces and form them in a circle, and then just stick them together, and then, you know, their kids play with it like a little basketball hoop. So there's a lot that you can do with this if you really just get a good think of it. And yeah, so you know, they just balance their peg dolls on here. They see what kinds of limits there are to balancing them and playing with them. And the nice thing about the dolls is that, you know, they don't have faces. They're very simple. So what are you trying to achieve with this? You're trying to get your children to imagine for themselves what they would look like. You have them focus on the color that they represent, and not necessarily, you know, features or appearance or anything like that. So again, this is the wooden rainbow stacker and peg doll set. You get 6 rainbow rays, and then you get 12 peg dolls like this. So okay, all right, so those peg dolls come in several shades. Again, just, you know, ask me a question if you have one, and take a look at the product listing so you can read about it yourself. But what is listed here as the skills to be developed is creative thinking. What else does it say here? Creative thinking, critical thinking, coordination skills. So yeah, I can definitely see how that would be the case based on how I described it and kind of tried to play with it myself. Montessori. So now we are here on another Giggles Montessori toy, which is the wooden carrots harvest and magnetic catchworm set. So here, you just, you know, open the flap. It's very straightforward. Lift it, and you know, it's easy enough for your child to do themselves. And I think that's important because you're teaching them independence, but you're also teaching them to make it easy enough for them to do their own cleanup when they're done playing. And I do encourage that you get your child to learn a bit of responsibility when they clean up and tidy up, however you like to call it. So it starts, it's quite straightforward. You see both of the pieces or the aspects of the toy right away. Let me open up the listing. So you see them right away. I am going to get started with the carrot harvest toy. So what this is for is, both of them are for motor skills, but this one is really for the babies. Like I'm pretty sure I've seen like 1.5-year-olds as young as that play with this, because it's safe, it's very straightforward, and as simple as it looks to us, they do learn from this. So what do they learn? They learn spatial recognition, understanding different sizes, and motor skills. So each of the carrots are at a different thickness or width, and there are 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they are painted with water-based paint, which is, good to know, because you don't want your child to, in the event that they put this in their mouth, you don't want them to be ingesting toxins. So of course, supervise your children and teach them not to put objects in their mouth. But, if that does happen and they get a little lick of it or something, you won't worry too much. So, and then, so this is water-based paint. They're made of wood, and then the top, or the stem of the carrot, is made with felt. So it's very secure. You don't have to worry about your child ripping it off and then it flying all around or putting it in their mouth, because it's very secure. So again, there are different widths to the carrots, and then really what they're trying to understand is that some pieces will fit in other holes, but they won't really be the best fit. They won't be the right size, the perfect size, and it can, it's kind of like a puzzle for them. It's a lot of trial and error, but once they get the hang of it, that's when you're confident that, okay, they did learn something from this. They do understand different spaces and sizes. So, for example, of course, the thin carrot will fit in a big hole, as you can see here, but it's not the best fit. And then, if they try to get the thickest carrot in the small hole, it's not going to fit at all. So this is kind of trial and error for them until they get it right. And once they do that, that's when I recommend that they move on to the magnetic catchworm. So if your child kind of gets bored of their toys easily, that's how if your child gets bored of their toys a bit easily, I would kind of recommend that you introduce it to them one at a time, so that after a few days they're not bored of both of them. We're trying to kind of get some longevity out of these, especially because they're very sturdy. They're made of wood, so they are really much more long lasting than other toys. By the way, I think it's worth mentioning that the toys are very smooth. Your child will not get any splinters from this. So there. Okay, so I am done with the carrot harvest one, and now we get into the magnetic catchworm. So this is very straightforward. This is their little, I don't know what to call this. I guess it's their habitat or their little home. And you have this, I guess it's like a magic wand or something, and the worms have magnets on them, and this has a magnet as well. So really you just instruct your child to grab it. So if they know their colors already, I encourage you to be interactive with them and say something like, can you grab me the green worm? So if they find it, they grab it, pull it out. I don't know what they're going to do with it, if they're going to play with it, if they're going to give it to you. Really just kind of let them figure it out themselves, what they want to do with it. Observe them, let them have that freedom. And then, the motor skills development is for them to put it back. So, are they able to get it back in the hole? Because for us, it's very easy. We have good hand-eye coordination at our age, but put yourselves in the shoes of a toddler. They don't really know these things yet. They're still learning, and that's what we're trying to teach them, their hand-eye coordination and motor skills. So, once they kind of play around with it and then get in the hole, just teach them to release it by putting the stick to the side, dragging it to the side, and then move on to another color. So there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, there are 10 worms, and then there's an 11th hole on the side. So really, this particular hole on the side is kind of the most advanced one, because they will master the top part. So it's going to be a breeze for them eventually to play with the worms and to get them back in the hole very easily on the top. So once they're done with that, it's kind of a new wrist function for them to figure out how to do it sideways. So that's why there's this little added challenge here. And I do encourage you to see how your child would adapt to this one on the side. So I'm going to show you all the colors that are part of this. So there's blue, green, red. This one is like a mustard yellow. And then this one is a lighter yellow. So I'm not sure if you can tell the difference. These are two different shades of yellow. So I would encourage that you differentiate them so that your child doesn't get confused, or they will understand different shades of the same family or color family. And then so that is all the colors of the worms, and then you just get 2 of each. There you go. So there, you have that on the top, and then the magic stick or magic wand, whatever you like to call it. But if you have a question about this one, let me know. Again, just like the Carrot Harvest toy, the wood is very smooth. The corners are rounded slightly. They are kind of buffed so that they're not sharp edges, which is very important. And in general, this is very safe. This has been tested, and it, of course, children have played with this before release, so it is safe for children.